Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to be removing the intake manifold on my Ibiza PD130. Now, the reason we're actually going to be removing the intake manifold today is because, I don't know if you remember in a previous video, when I did the EGR delete, there's a lot of carbon build up kind of like inside the intake manifold. Now, I only managed to get so much of it cleaned out, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to remove the intake manifold and get rid of all the carbon and any muck that's inside it. Now, the reason I'm going to do this as well is because if the carbon buildup is quite bad, it can restrict the airflow and things like that. That's another reason I'm going to do this, just so the car's like run as good as it can be and all that good stuff. Now, it shouldn't be too difficult because it's only held on by what? Yeah, the intake manifold is only held on by 6 bolts, so it's not too bad. Access is quite good as well, so this shouldn't be a too difficult job. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. Right, also, when we refit the manifold, we've got a brand new intake manifold gasket as well. I can't remember where I got this from again, but it wasn't too expensive. So we got that going as well. We have brake cleaner and EGR and carb cleaner, so hopefully this should be enough to get rid of all the crap that's inside it and any carbon build-up. Plus we've got things like, heaps of screwdrivers we can use to scrape off all the carbon. We've got wire brushes, things like that. So we've got plenty of things in our arsenal to get rid of all the carbon if there is any. So let's get started, and as always I'll record as much as I can to let you guys know how it's done if you're doing this yourself. So with that being said, let's crack on. Right, so I took this actual intake pipe off the turbo just to make things easier for myself, because I found like trying to get access to the bolts on the intake manifold with this on was just an absolute joke. So yeah, so this is just held on by a Jubilee clip which is on the turbo, and 2 bolts which is like a mount which mounts to the intake manifold there and there, and then obviously that's it really. So I'll probably clean this as well before I put it back on, but the main focus is getting that intake manifold off. So I'll crack on that now and see how far we get. Right, now that that bloody intake pipe's off, we have to remove this manifold. Now, there is like about 6 bolts or something in behind here, but you can barely see them, so yeah, it can be a bit of a struggle, but that's why I removed that pipe. Without like a wee mirror, you're basically doing it blind, so I'll do this completely by feel. It's an Allen key, so like I said, I'll try and get all these bolts off camera, because like I said, there's no point in me filming because you won't see anything anyway. So I'll be back to camera once I've got the bolts off. Right, as you've seen, we just removed the intake manifold. Now, I just gave all the intake ports a little bit of clean. There's actually not that bad. There's actually not that much carbon build-up, so I'm quite happy that the intake ports are actually relatively clean. They're actually not that bad. So I can see very well, but yeah, all the intake ports have been sorted. They're all clean. There's like next to no build-up down there, so happy with that. So we'll go to the shed and start cleaning down this intake manifold. Right, now this is going to take a lot of work to get this clean again, but I mean, it'll be worth it once it's done. But yeah, as you can see, that's all the carbon build up there. It's not as bad. I mean, this car's got us 120,000 miles on the clock, so it's not as bad as you'd probably normally expect, but we'll do our best. We'll start to scrape up all this crap and then see how good we can get it up. So let's crack on. Right, so it turns out we're actually having to, you know, go the extra mile. Unfortunately, the method we were using before wasn't really working very well with the carbon, so we got petrol and just using this brush to kind of go in and out the ports to try and clean them out. So, you know, it's pretty disgusting, so I'm not really going to record it because, you know, I'm covered in petrol and, you know, oil. So I'll put the camera down and we'll be back in a minute when I've hopefully got this cleaned up. So I'll see you guys in a second. Right guys, we're getting there, but as you can see, I'm absolutely filthy. I've had to use a concoction of petrol, G101 cleaner, truck foam remover, and all sorts of brushes to get literally majority of that carbon buildup off. It's been horrible. I'm covered in petrol and you name it. That's why I didn't really film that part and all that kind of stuff, because, you know, the camera would have got covered in crap, and so would I. So anyway, we're nearly done there. I'll show you guys the finished product. Right, that's us finally finished, and here is the end result. Now, like I said, the intake manifold is absolutely immaculate now. It looks so much better with a, you know, fresh coat of paint, and obviously everywhere inside is absolutely, you know, carbon free now. I said there's still a tiny bit around here somewhere, but it's like not excessive compared to what it was before. So I'm really happy with the results. It did take a lot of work, if I'm honest. There's probably easier ways you can do this, but this is like a DIY way. Like I said, I use a lot of stuff. I use like traffic foam remover, petrol was a good one. And then I used this oven cleaner and left it in hot water, which did get rid of quite a lot of it. So it does take a long time to get rid of all the carbon. But like I said, there is easier ways to do it, but you know, each to their own. But this is the way I did it because I tend to do things myself. But yeah, everything's a lot better now. All the intake pipes all clean, everything's immaculate. So let's get it on. And also we got a new gasket to go on as well, so everything's fresh. So let's get cracking. Fucking, just in a fucking room, like. Oh, right, that's the intake manifold finally on. Honestly, it's so awkward. There's like no room in behind there, so like you're basically doing everything blind. But I must say, it looks so much better. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, really happy with that. Now, obviously, don't worry about this. This is just temporary. I'm just going to testing out some ideas, but I said this bit of pipe and that crap, that's not staying there, so don't worry about that. Now, the next thing is get the intake pipe, which just goes onto the turbo, then onto the airbox. So I'll go grab that from the shed and we'll get that on. Then we can wrap this up. So let's crack on. This is finally finished. Honestly, that was a pretty crap job. Like, I didn't expect it to be that bad, but anyway, that's the car back together again. All I'm going to do now is just fire it up and make sure it's running okay, because, you know, like, you know, anything can go wrong. But so go and fire it up now, make sure it runs okay, and then we'll wrap up this video. So let's crack on. So that wraps up today's video. So I'm sorry if it's a crap video. I mean, it's been kind of hard to get back into the way of doing YouTube because I haven't done it in a while, and it's just, you know, things have been all over the place. So, but I do have a much better videos coming. This is just a wee filler video, but you know, if you did enjoy this video, then obviously, you know, smash that thumbs up button. You know, and as always, see you in the next video.